So I pretty much fully believe that this movie contributed to the downward spiral into depression that Jim Carrey seems to be experiencing, because I know it's certainly contributed to mine. Because, man, that movie should have been called Waste of Time instead of Dark Crimes. You know what? It's actually it's not a misnomer. That movie really was pretty much it was a dark crime that just that movie exists. The thing I hate to say about this movie, actually, though, is that I kind of liked it a little bit, which was kind of surprising. But anyway, so as per usual, I'm gonna go with the bad, start with the bad, why this movie was basically terrible, and I'm gonna give like a short summary after, and then I'm gonna try and compliment this movie. But I actually do have a couple compliments about this movie. Just notice, so pretty much this movie was straight up like ass tits and sexual violence for the sake of ass tits and sexual violence. That was pretty much all it was. That's all it was saying. It was just like kind of like a dark, depraved message that, like, you know, like it was very grim, and it was pretty much a gritty take of a real life crime, but there were so many scenes that were so drawn out and like violent and just kind of depraved, and they just there were some scenes that were like way too long when they didn't need to be way too long. This movie is slow burn. It's like all it is. Like, it is slow burn, then pretty much it never stops burning slow. It pretty much just is like flat the entire time, and it never picks up. And that's like just pretty much what it is. It's a slow-paced, gritty, kind of vulgar neo-noir kind of deal. So let's just get into the summary. Basically, you start off and there's like this orgy at this like sex dungeon at like this Amazon warehouse, and pretty much like there's a crime there. This businessman got murdered there a while ago, and that's Jim Carrey's that's like his case. That's like the one that got away. Like, as a detective, he was pursuing that previously, and so he's still chasing that case. And just a brief reminder, this is like, I watched it like a day ago, and this is like broken memory, but it's pretty much what all the summaries are usually. So basically, yeah, he's pursuing this case, and he finds out that this author has a novel where the aspects of the murder and the crime are very similar as to what the author wrote in his book. So he suspects him because it's pretty cut and dry, because that book is about the sex dungeon where the crime took place, and he wrote a book about his experience there. So Jim Carrey pretty much the whole time thinks it's this guy that killed this businessman for some reason. So then he finds out that this guy has a girlfriend, and he's asking questions to her about him, but then he finds out that that girlfriend was like a hooker at the sex dungeon, and after he questions her, she shows up to his house one night. And by the way, Jim Carrey's situation with his family is really weird. Like, him and his wife and his daughter like never talk. I don't think his daughter even said anything throughout the entire movie. They just sit there and eat dinner. And like, he would sometimes review like really like disgusting tapes like while they're eating it, like really weird for no reason. And so where was I? Pretty much, oh yeah, the hooker girlfriend. So pretty much the author had a hooker girlfriend, right? And then she came over to Jim Carrey's house one night, and she was like, oh, we're not safe, we need somewhere safe, so can we crash here or something? And Jim Carrey is like, no, but I'll drive you home and check the place out or whatever, because they think they're being watched or something. So he does that, and then the wife is like, if you go over there, we're done. And that's pretty much all we hear from the family again. So he goes over there, he has sex with the hooker. This is not the only scene where it's like so drawn out for no reason, but this is one of the most blatant offenders. So pretty much they have sex, and he's just like, it's like a 5-minute scene. It just keeps going and going and going. And she's been like abused and like sexually like assaulted and shit. And she has like scratches down her back, and she's like telling him to like slap her, and he's just like slapping her for like 2 minutes, and it's just so crazy. And they have like this close up on Jim Carrey's face, like while he's like at climax or something, and he is just like, I don't know why they went with this shot. Like they are right up in there for like 60 seconds, just like his face, and it's just so bad. It was just so terrible to watch. And pretty much after that happens, he finds out that that girlfriend is the girl that the author based the novel off of. So she was telling him what to write, is what he thinks. So he goes there and he's like, you gotta sign a statement and say that he did it and blah blah blah. So she does that because she doesn't want her daughter to get taken away or something. And so that happens. The author gets locked up for the murder of the businessman. And then Jim Carrey's mom dies, by the way. There's like a 10-second scene. Well, it's not 10 seconds because all these scenes are like drawn out to like 10 minutes per scene for no reason. But like, he's talking to his mom, and his mom was like, don't let me die here alone, sweetie, or something. and Jim Carrey comes home towards the end of the movie, and she's like dead on the floor all by herself. Like this, it's such a depressing movie. Like there's just so much terrible shit, like no reason. But like I don't mind that. I don't mind like a little grit. I love horror movies and thrillers and stuff like that. But it's just I don't know. There was so much depravity for the sake of depravity. It felt like. But anyway, just not getting into that. So anyway, he kept anyway. He found his dead mom, and after that, he what did he do? He went to the girlfriend's house, and he's like, "Oh, they found out that the author wasn't in the country at the time of the murder. He got in the day after, so it definitely wasn't him." So he's like, "Oh, who's the killer? Oh, he got away." And then he talked to the girlfriend. He was like, "Well, then who did it? What's going on here?" But they're taking shots, right? And he's trying to find out the truth from her, and then she like tells him like, "I'm the one who did it. We were having sex, or that guy like raped me or something, and I like strangled him, and I killed him, and I was the one." And so she tells Jim Carrey the truth, and it pans over to Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey is just fucking dead because he took a shot of alcohol that was like poison, and the girl poisoned her. It poisoned his ass, and he fucking died. And that was it. That was the whole movie. And that was pretty much it. So yeah, it like honestly. So that was the summary. So the chick killed Jim Carrey right there on the couch, basically. So that was pretty much it. But so let's get to the good. So this movie actually had a decent amount of style. I kind of liked it, like visually. They had some like cool little details about the scenes that I enjoyed. And the performances by Jim Carrey and the author's actor, I think his name was like Kozaks or something. They were amazing. They actually did pretty well in this movie. It's really weird to see Jim Carrey like complete polar opposite, like repressed, like gritty noir detective. It's kind of interesting to see, but so yeah, the performances were good, and it did have a little bit of style. It was just like a gritty kind of real movie about a real story with a little bit of style, and that's what I liked about it. But I would still say that it definitely wasn't a good movie. There were good aspects of it, but I would say overall it's yeah. But you know, it is what it is. I think that's it. If you guys have any other suggestions, let me know. I will dive straight into that wishing well, and I will see what I pull up, and I will report back. So yeah.